everyone, welcome back to Janet's English class. I am Janet. Today we're going to be analyzing some poems. So you're going to learn the elements of a poem and what makes a poem a poem. We're going to be looking at 3 poems today. You're going to learn about the poet and how the poet has structured the poem, meanings behind the poem, and some figurative language and poetic justice. Shall we get started? Now before we start today's video, note that please subscribe, turn on the notification bell, and like this video. Check out Janet's English courses. And finally, let's get started. Alright, so firstly, we are going to be looking at the poem The Road Not Taken by Robert Frost. This is actually one of my favorite poems because it has so many meaning behind it. So in this poem, we're actually going to be more focusing on the meanings behind the poem and the structure of the poem. So The Road Not Taken is a very eloquent poem that shows a really big and bold meaning of what I think the poem is trying to talk about. And if you're unsure of the meaning or you have your own thoughts, then go ahead. But if you're not really sure what the poem means, you can watch this video and learn what I think the poem is talking about. And of course, if you have read the poem The Road Not Taken before, you might know that it's a great poem and a very popular one too. It's famous. And today we're going to see why. So let's get started. So of course, firstly, I'm going to be reading the poem The Road Not Taken for those who are new to it. Let's get started. The Road Not Taken by Robert Frost. 2 roads diverged in a yellow wood, and sorry I could not travel both. And be one traveler, long I stood, and looked down one as far as I could, to where it bent in the undergrowth. Then took the other, as just as fair, and having perhaps the better claim, because it was grassy and wanted wear. Though as for that, the passing there had worn them really about the same, and both that morning equally lay in leaves no step had trodden black. Oh, I kept the first for another day, yet knowing how way leads on the way, I doubted if I should ever come back. I shall be telling this with a sigh, somewhere ages and ages hence. 2 roads diverged in a wood, and I took the one less traveled by, and that has made all the difference. Alright, so now you know the poem, and I've read it. You can listen to it again, go back, or we're going to be moving on to the analysis. Let's get started. Okay, so here is the poem The Road Not Taken. So we're going to be looking at the first stanza of this poem. So firstly, we can see that 2 roads diverged in a yellow wood. So yellow wood here technically means the forest. So yellow wood is to forest. Let's look at the next verse. So, and sorry, I could not travel both. So imagine it. So pretend this is you and you have 2 roads in front of you. This is a scene in many fairy tales when you don't know which road to go to. So you're over here, and there's 2 paths in front of you. Which one are you going to choose? There's one path, and there's another. And later on in the poem, you will know that the 2 paths look the same. Alright, and be one traveler. Long I stood, long, and looked down as far as I could. So this technically means that you want to know where the road leads you to, because before you make a decision, you want to know what that decision will lead to, right? You want to know where the road I'm doing this on a computer, so it's hard. So you want to know where the road leads to. So do you see how the author has used many times and? This provokes an effect that it's like repetition, so I'm going to write that there. Repetition. So it's talking about, and I could not travel both, and be one traveler. I stood there so long, I don't know where to go. And look down one as far as I could. So there's two paths. One is A, the other is B. You look down A. You want to know where the road leads to. When we make a decision, we want to know where that leads us to. Yeah, so let's look at the next stanza. So, our next stanza is, then took the other, as just as fair. So here we can say, took the other. Then took the other. He took the other road. Just as fair. Two roads. Are they same? Well, at least similar. And having perhaps the better claim. So this line means that one leads to something better. So do you see what the poet is trying to do? It's trying to say that so one is better than the other. It's having a better claim. It's making you more want to go down that road. One leads to the other. Okay, so we'll stop here, and I'm going to finish this recording later. So, now we're going to move on to the further meanings in this. Okay, so next we're going to be looking at the next stanza. And both that morning equally lay. So, I'm talking about how the morning, in the morning I can either go to my friend's house or I can go to school. So, that morning, it's equally late. You don't really have a decision. In leaves no step had trodden black. So this is a very interesting verse that I would like to elaborate on. In leaves no step has trodden black. So what does this mean? So it's talking about no path. Okay, that's way too messy. I'm gonna use a black marker. No one seems to have taken one. So, as you can see over here, it's describing trodden black. Trodden black, no step. That means the road, for example, if I saw two roads, I would look on the floor and see if the leaves are black. That means someone has trodden on them. That means they have took that road. Then I would follow them. But in this case, no leaves. and leaves no steps had trodden black. There's no hint as to which way most people went to. Oh, I kept the first for another day, yet knowing how way leads on to way. I doubted if I should ever come back. So his or her is doubting if I should ever come back and face this decision. Should I face a decision? In life, we have to make a lot of serious decisions, and also, you might think, should I face this decision, or can I just fake it, or skip it, or just miss it? This is something really important. I doubted. Doubted means to think unsurely of. So, here is our last analysis. I should be telling this with a sigh, somewhere ages and ages hence. 2 roads diverged in wood, and I took the one less traveled by. So he took the one less traveled by. So he's taking the one less traveled by. And as I read through this poem, you might find the true meaning behind this poem. It's always so interesting. The last phrase is really, really important. I have to bold this one out. Strange that I'm using yellow. And that has made all the difference. And that has made all the difference means you have made the right decision. So, as we look at this stanza, we can tell that the meaning of the stanza is to say, oh, I should be saying this with a sigh. I took the road less traveled by, and that has made all the difference. Next, we are going to be talking about the meaning behind this poem. So, if we go back. Yeah, so I doubted if I could come back, and trodden black. That means he took the road less traveled by. Now we're going to focus on the meaning of the poem. Alright, now personally, I think this poem is talking about when in real life we come across 2 different decisions and we can't really make up our mind. In the poem, it mentioned a traveler coming across 2 paths, and he or she is struggling to think of a way that he can enter both and know the result. And sometimes we don't really know the result. You just have to trust your instincts, go with your heart, and go with what you think is right. So by that, I'm really talking about, like, in real life, in real society, when you come across 2 decisions, take the one less traveled by, take a risk, and that can actually make all the difference. As mentioned in the last verse, that will make all the difference, literally. It's a matter of if you succeed or if you not. Make right decisions, even when they look similar. Go with your heart. Go follow your dreams. That's what I think this poem is talking about. What about you? Lastly, thank you so much for watching this video. Thank you for clicking on this video and spending your time to learn English with me. Thank you for watching, and I hope you learned something about the poem The Road Not Taken. So the reason I haven't been uploading yesterday is that yesterday and this morning I went to a debate competition online. So we went to my school and we logged onto our laptops and went on Zoom and had some debates. It was really fun. And I totally enjoyed that experience. I might share with you guys sometime. Thank you for watching. Lastly, please subscribe, turn on notification bell, and like this video. Unfortunately, there's no YouTube transcript for this, because I don't think I can make a YouTube transcript for this, but if I can, I will let you know. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!